Tuesday, May 13th. Call to order at 6 p.m. Roll call.
Kennard. Here. Kamal.
Here.
McCarthy.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Rogers present. Laster
Excused.
and Piles.
Excused. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, acceptance of the meeting agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the May 13th, 2025 meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion by Davis, supported by Rogers. Roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. McCarthy.
Yes.
Kennard. Kamal.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, next up, public comment, Madam Secretary.
We have one from Ms. Sherry Rush.
Good evening, all. Our distinguished board members. I really have more of a question than a comment. I would like to find out from you all how many administrators there has been at the Romulus Middle School for the last 3 school years. I'm interested to know how much change there has been from the top at the Romulus Middle School.
Thank you.
That's it.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have 2 presentations. First up, we have the RHS junior class presentation with Dr. Pachota and Ms. Soltowski. Do we have our attendance liaisons? All right. Now let's go over to the attendance liaison presentations with Ms. Crank, Mr. Buckley, Reverend Dr. Futch, Ms. King, and Ms. Malcolm.
Good evening, school board. I am Barbara Malcolm, one of the attendance liaisons. I service Romulus Middle School and RVLC for the middle school. I am here with my colleagues, Pastor Futch. He services Wick Elementary and the 6th graders at the middle school, STEAM. I have Miss Stacy King. She is what RVLC, Early Middle College, and ROM-L. I have Miss Denise Crank, who is high school 9th and 10th grade, and she also services Hale Creek. We are missing Mr. Buckley. He is out today, but with our blessings. So could you go to the next slide? So here we have, this bar graph will show you what we've done over the last couple of years. So we came in for the 23-24 school year. If you look at the bar graph, the blue shows where we were as far as unexcused absences for students, 22-23 school year, 23-24, and then 24-25. As you can see, we feel like we have made an impact. I think that going forward, there's still a lot of work to be done, but it is absolutely helping. So we appreciate all the support we have gotten from the schools and from the school board.
So here we have our parental responsibility, which includes each of our schools, where we have parents that have attended our session with the judge, where are no citations and citations as it is listed there.
May I say something? Just so that the interpretation. You're doing an excellent job. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so on that graph there, so parental responsibility, if I'm to interpret it this way, because I have a little inside information that I think others may not, is that meaning that Tuesday meeting when you meet with the judge, and then after that, whether they get cited? Okay,
Yes.
so could you explain that to everybody so that they understand what that graph means?
So with our graph, as it displays, what we do is upon talking with our parents and understanding the reasons for the absences, if the absences continue, then that's where they are invited out to our session with the judge, which happens on Tuesdays. It's usually twice a month on a Tuesday with the judge. And for those parents that do show up, we offer other additional resources while they're there. Our judge also offers resources there. And for those parents who do not show up, then the citation is given to them. Now, I will caveat that to say, we do have parents that contact us and say that they're not able to make it. And so what we try to do is postpone it to a different day. By which the next session for them to be able to come. So we still are working with our parents as well.
Okay, they don't make these for tall
Could
people.
could we go back a second, because I know more information than everybody else. Just so, you all mentioned your names, right? Okay. Did you say what schools? Yes. All of you? Yes. Man, I'm just getting old. I'm just gonna turn this off now.
Okay, with that being said, my name is Paul Futch. I'm attendance liaison, Romulus Middle School, sixth graders, and Wick Elementary. All right, so how did we get to those numbers that colleague just went over? Just kind of want to give the board and all of you sort of what we do on a daily basis, okay? And basically, we start off by pulling reports from MyStar. We first look at students that have gained 3 unexcused absences. And once we have identified those students, we then look at their entire attendance, not just the unexcused, but we look at different patterns, and so on. We also compile data from EduClimber, thanks to our data coach, who provides data for us to show us what we are doing monthly, if what we're doing is working, and to show progress. And then from there, we collaborate with the building administration. That includes the principal or the office staff, and we compare what we pull from the reports with what information they may have. Then we may have parents, and here's the thing. We're not police officers, we're not FBI agents, we don't come to them like we're police, but we offer resources if they need it. And we're just what we're called, we're liaisons. We're like the bridge between the parents and the school. And so what are some resources we offer? How do we offer resources? Well, we first start right within our own school district. As you can see, it states special services. There may be a family that may could utilize our social work, so we work hand in hand with our social workers. And then on a weekly basis, just the attendance liaisons and the PBIS coordinator, we meet weekly and discuss possible strategies where we could possibly reward parents and or students for making progress with their attendance. And we do that on a weekly basis. We also sit in on what's called EWIMS. Maybe my colleagues can give me what the abbreviation stands for. Education, right. But we every month we meet with that team at the middle school and at the high school, and we discuss students that's having issues behaviorally with their grades and also with attendance. And one thing that all of us can say, I mean, I love this team. I love working with this team. We all have a passion for the students, not just their attendance, but just them as students. You know, you start to get close to them, the parents, and, you know, we all have that passion. We really care about the students because at the end of the day, if they don't come to school, they cannot get an education. It's just that simple. Then we also collaborate with our wonderful and esteemed superintendent. We meet with him on a weekly basis, and we sit down and we discuss different strategies, different things we can go over to make our jobs a little easier. And we work hand in hand with him. And then finally, we also collaborate with the 34th District Court, as my colleague had just mentioned. We have informal sessions every other Tuesday for students who has reached 6 unexcused absence. And the judge is also very, very passionate about what we're doing when it comes to attendance. And I'll turn it over to my colleague.
I almost got myself out, like in dodgeball. Good evening. I'm Denise Crank from Hell Creek Elementary and 9th and 10th grade from the high school. And I'm going to touch on some of the challenges that we have, and then, then go on to our achievements. Since day one of our biggest challenges is the disconnected phone numbers and non-working emails in MyStar, just not being updated by families. Barb and I were just talking tonight. They tried to contact a student yesterday, and even the emergency contacts were disconnected. So it's the problem for us in communicating, but if there was also an emergency at the school, that's an issue as well. And sometimes there's some inaccurate student attendance as well. Like at the elementary level, sometimes the student will come in late, but they're marked absent all day, that kind of thing. So that's something that, as a whole, when we're looking at their attendance, those little pieces, we got to try and make them fit and work. Another challenge that we face is parental communication. Well, the lack of communication and accountability by some of our families. It makes this challenging for us to really get to the root of the problem if we can't get anyone to call us back, respond to an email, text message. So that's probably almost a daily challenge as well. Onto our achievements. Because we are the first to call homes, a lot of times we're the first to know of a dire situation that would be impacting a student's attendance, such as evictions. So we're able to kind of step in and navigate the McKinney-Vento process and other resources as well that they've spoken of. But being able to do that, we all have stories that we could share of how it has changed a student's attendance just because we've been able to communicate with the families and figure out really what's going on and help assist there. For the improved attendance, because we do communicate with the families and we have our Tuesday sessions and with Judge Oakley, and this is another story all of us would have because of those things. There are many, many students who have not missed a single day since attending a session with Judge Oakley or meeting with us individually or communicating with the families. So all of that together, that work, the judge, and to be honest, sometimes the citation helps as well, but it's all made a huge impact on the attendance here across the district. So that wraps up our presentation. If you have any questions.
Reverend Dr. Futch. So when you would meet with our esteemed superintendent, what kind of strategies do you discuss and how do you implement them in our schools? Don't be looking at him.
Oh, that's good. No, for instance, we have developed a pretty good system since we have been at it. That's one thing that we meet with. We always fine-tuning it, and I think the system that we have, from the looks of the numbers, is working. Still got work to do, but we have developed with the superintendent letters, 3- and 6-day absent letters that our parents receive. So yeah, we discuss a lot of different strategies to improve what we do. Absolutely.
That was about a D response, don't you think? That was about a D. I mean,
didn't
come
wanna
on.
charge him
I
up,
mean,
but
I'm going to give him a D on that response. I'm sorry. I mean, it's got to be better than
I
that.
talked around it, but
I
I,
mean, he
will say
did.
the numbers don't lie. We have drastically decreased our number of absences, so maybe you need a couple more one-on-ones and some coaching sessions with you so that he can speak to the strategies. But
She's
job,
feeling
team.
really good. You make me laugh.
no, I'm really impressed with the numbers. I have them here, and it shows. Like, I'm a firm believer that men lie, women lie, numbers don't, and we can't argue with this. For the month of May, what was this last year? 2022, 23. What is that? Like 25,000 absences? That's not right. Is it? 25507. 507. No, maybe it's another 5. Look.
I mean, that's 20.
Is it not right?
That looks like 25.
Yeah, it looks like 25,000.
Yeah.
So if
Right.
so the middle school and the high school all have 6 periods.
Those are class periods. Class periods.
Okay.
There we go. See.
Yeah.
There we go.
So we went from that 25,507 absences, including all 6 periods, to 14,231. Like, that's amazing.
Divided by 6, and then you
Yeah.
kind of get an idea.
So even the elementary is 2.
Right. Morning and afternoon. So.
Great.
But these are things that we talk about. So in terms of strategies, I'll say when we meet, there's no agenda. So there's no agenda there. We just talk. We talk about morale. We talk about climate. We talk about trends that we see. I give them, I support them when they tell me that there's a roadblock. I'm going to get the roadblock out of the way, the obstacle. So if it's a parent that doesn't have MyStar, then I give them the liberty to work with the secretaries to find that out, get that information. If it doesn't, if they don't get it, then I jump in. Because I jump in, I'll have conversations with certain kids. I don't know a lot of families, but certain kids, I'll have the conversation. The PBIS coordinator's there, so we look at rewarding. We're saying, how can we reward attendance, particularly for the kids that don't come? It's all right to incentivize them and say, we recognize what you're doing. We appreciate what you're doing. We talk about maybe doing a letter or putting a letter together. So every week is different. We talk about different things. We definitely talk about obstacles. I want to hear from every school. What school is having the greatest problem? Because I need to have a conversation with the principal and the secretary about what's going on over there. What families have a trend, not just this year, last year. What's going on? I've met some kids through them. That's different. When they tell me who the kids are, then I come into schools and I look for those kids. And then I'll have the conversation with the kids and say, hey, it's great to see you here. Or, one girl I can say, honestly, she said that she joined the girls' self-defense class because it makes her come to school. It makes her come to school. That's just powerful for me. She said, I needed to come to school because I always found a reason not to come. So she needed something that would do that. So they share their stories with me because I don't have that kind of relationship with a lot of the students. So when they share those things, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And that, not all stories are good either. I mean, you see some tragedies, okay, where you see parents failing kids, failing their own children, and failing multiple children in the household. We talk about families who the mom or dad is not there. Okay, we talk about some of these things where it's gut-wrenching when you hear. We learned here that, Romulus, of all in the county of Wayne, beside Detroit, We are the community that has the highest percentage of kids that go into foster care. Blew our mind having these conversations like, oh my gosh, like there's a lot of issues. So I look forward to it. It's not gloom and doom. I look forward to it because there's a lot of positives with the PBIS. When we see these numbers, I feel really good about it. And then you can justify people's positions too, because that is important. Because the first thing when people go to look for cuts, that's the first ones they'll say, take them. They're very important. You can see the work that they're doing matters. So we have these kind of conversations, and I enjoy the relationship that I've had with all of them. And Mr. Buckley's not here today. Is it his birthday, or we just had it? Wedding? Something, wedding, something. That's it. Right, yeah, that was it. So that was it. That's a great milestone. So I'm turning my mic off.
Acting President Bormir.
Yes.
Okay. First, thank you for your accomplishment from where you started to where we are. I want to thank you for that. I know you've already heard it from members of the board, but I just want to reiterate that. I have a question pertaining to, so as to, we are to understand that once you got to the point of where you have to interact on a informal meeting with the parents and the judge or the court system, we've not had to go beyond those parameters where fees, judgments, or other efforts had to take place. So that's safe to think that we've been able to rectify the situation from before it headed into that direction. We've not had to.
Not always.
Oh, okay, okay.
In general, once parents come to that meeting, that informal meeting with the judge, pretty much you can see attendance improving. It's sometimes, though it doesn't, sometimes it gets worse, but then you find out those personal stories because now I got you here, we can talk about it, and you find out that maybe they are homeless, or you just find out different things. The parents that don't come to the meetings are usually the ones that get the citations and have to go through the judge.
So we have had citations.
Yeah,
Oh.
yes, this right here. So the great is they came to the Tuesday meeting and met with the judge. The Burgundy for Romulus, that's the ones that got citations. So there's quite a few, and they could be repeat offenders, or sometimes the judge, we get there and the judge is like, no, I saw you here last year. Well, it wasn't because of us, so he has had it too. So sometimes they get citations and it's just because you are a repeat offender and
Yeah.
taking up the correspondence with the judge.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked that is because I know initially, one of the biggest concerns was people having to pay, the fees and how it would impact monetary, for those that would have to, come forth and pay those things. And so, that's why I asked for you to explain, have we had those types of situations, or, to answer the question that initially started from the beginning. Yeah, how did it how have it affected the individual and impact the district for those who have to go beyond, who have had to go beyond that?
So what we can say is for those who do come in for citations to meet with the judge, he speaks with the families, especially when the students are there, making sure that, again, that there's an understanding of what's going on and if there's any additional resources. Now, we've heard this many a times from the judge. He is not there to find people and make them pay. And he says this from day one when he's in the session. When they come to the courts, it's because they did not follow the step of making that session. So his numbers, from what he has informed us, has been so few, maybe one or two. But that's because that individual has come back time and time and time again. So was it from this district? He really didn't say, but what he is very clear on is that it's not there to punish anyone. That is not the duty. But if a parent is coming back continuously, so when we say continuously, this year you get a citation, you go before the judge, there's a delayed sentence. That delayed sentence and what he tells everyone, mom, dad, do not go out and do anything wrong, and make sure that your student is in school. And make sure that you are following up with the attendant liaison. If anything happens, contact your attendant liaison. Because as he states, that is really the main issue. is that there's a lack of communication with the attendant liaison, the schools, and the parents. Let someone know what is going on. So when the delayed sentence is given, that student is in school. If, the student, if there are still continued issues where the student is not in school, then we as liaisons, contact the schools. I'm always talking with our schools. What's going on with this family? Have you heard anything else? And so upon that information, if we need to report that individual to go back before the judge, once again, it's the same thing. What is going on? Maybe, again, there was a breakdown in communication with your attendant liaison. And then he moves on from there. But when it comes to fines and penalties, it's not what his goal is. He wants to make sure that our families are receiving the resources, that they understand you have to reach out. And I've seen this happen sitting in the court various times. He's always working with the families because sometimes you just don't know that you can tell someone. And if we can get that, if he can get that information, he's always telling them to follow up with your liaison, which is what we will do. We pull them aside and make sure that we have to work together through this process.
And thank you very much for, going back over the fine, intricacies of how that process is, because the more we hear it, the more it sinks in and the more people hear it, and they can, ease some of that anxiety that many may have about the process, and also holding what we're doing accountable. So I want to thank you, again, I want to reiterate that. Thank you very much for, what you're doing, what you're bringing, and what you're going to do down the road. Thank you.
How much is a citation?
Oh, it's based on the court?
Yes.
The court system.
It's based on the courts. Yeah. And that's, we probably should have had him here to express that.
I think the highest I've ever heard was $150, so it's not even really packing them over the head, but just something to make you say, hey, I gotta get my kids. So, but that's the highest that we have heard of.
Right. And even with that, he asks, can you afford it? And if you can't, go downstairs, let so-and-so know, and we're going to help work through that. So it's always the resources that are offered.
Okay. And what happens if they cannot afford it? They just get on a payment plan or they find other options?
I have heard him let them know when they go downstairs to talk to the accounting part. They work through what the person can do, how much they can pay, and what it is that they work out. So I've not sat down there to hear that, but we do know and have heard that he will send them down to talk it over, making sure that they fully explain what their finances are, what they can afford or not afford. And then the other things that the courts can offer to help them to be able to pay it off.
One more statement, and then I promise you, I won't ask another, I won't make another one. But anyway, I just want to reiterate the fact that we're a nonprofit. We don't make a profit on anything. So that means that I just want everyone to know that those fees are directly from the court, not the school system, and we do not benefit from any of the funded fees that comes with that. That's the court system, and that's their practice. So I just wanted to make sure we understood that. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments from the board?
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you.
The group gets an A, but Reverend Dr. D, you get a D. To the students, when a question is asked, you must answer it in full and properly. When they ask the question, you answer the question that they ask, not what you want. I have a friendship with him, so I'll leave that alone.
All right, thank you. And now, we have the RHS junior class presentation with Dr. Pachota and Ms. Zoltowski.
Hi, good evening, board.
Good evening.
And the audience. Hi, good evening. Isaac?
Good evening. How y'all doing today?
Doing all right. Ready to go home.
Good.
You want to pull that microphone? You can pull it. You gentlemen feel better.
Or
So
hold
you
it
don't have to,
and
you
pass
can
it
hold it. You can
You can
pull it and
hold
hold
it
it.
and pass it
If you feel better with it, just pull. There you go.
We have our 2026 junior class presentation. I am class president, Isaac.
I am the public speaker, Isaac.
Okay, next slide. About a month ago, we attempted to put on a spring dance, but that did not go as planned. We had low ticket sales, so we had to cancel.
You're going too fast. Food truck. Oh.
Yep. And we had food trucks as well, but we also had to cancel on those. And that was also another one of our fundraising ideas. Next slide. This is our fundraising page. We are currently doing a popcorn fundraiser, and I would like to actually pass out some flyers right now to the board and to the audience. So Isaac, if you could do the honors.
That's right.
I like that. I like to see that. I like to see that.
Madam President Laster paid double since you were.
She'll make the first donation on behalf of the board.
Exactly.
Good idea. That's a good idea.
Thank you. And about a couple months ago, we had a cookie dough sale. That didn't go exactly as planned, but there was a couple sales. But I am trying to do everything that we can to raise money for our class and more ideas. And we are trying to do a couple of couple of the restaurant fundraisers and the food trucks. And for next year, we are gonna do our homecoming dance. And of course, there is more ideas in progress to come. Would you like to add something, Isaac?
I mean, for a fundraising idea, we do kind of have an idea. So at the Comerica Park, they do nonprofit deals, nonprofit organization deals, and basically, we kind of plan to maybe try to do a fundraiser up there and see if we can bring in something.
Slide. This is our school spirit. Student government put on a contest for fun. This was back in, it was March? Yep, it was March. It was for the Mardi Gras. And the video is gonna be on the next slide, and it was of rock, paper, scissors. But it consisted of students trying to beat the teacher for their necklace. Yep. So so it was like a pretty fun idea. It just got like our school spirit up, and and the teachers and students really liked it. Next. Oh. hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we can also thank our wonderful Dr. Pachota for the editing of the video.
So for next year in our senior planning, we actually looked at prom views and venues and senior trips and senior picnic, and also senior sunrise and senior event list, all dates and everything else for senior year. The prom venues are currently a work in progress because we can't really find a prom venue right now. Our current ideas are Waterview Loft, which is a really nice venue, Crystal Gardens. Maybe it might not be there, maybe not. No. And then there's Rooster Tail, which is a $5,000 security deposit. Yep. And then there's Silver Shores. We need to get a minimum requirement and security deposit.
And for these prom venues, it's still a work in progress, as Isaac said. And currently, our senior class, they did their venue at the Waterview Loft. That's also a likely one for us next year, but maybe I just want to go like a bit big. You know, I just want to go like a bit bigger than what we have right now. So hopefully we can go for the Rooster Tail. Yep, and this is it. And if you guys have any questions, please let us know.
All right, any questions from the board first?
I just have a comment. Even if it's low numbers, you should still pursue it and still host a dance. It's contagious. This generation has fear of missing out, right? So if you still host a dance, the numbers may be low this year, but next year the numbers will increase. So still continue and pursue it. There's still something to gain from low numbers. You can increase the revenue the following year, increase participation, and continue to build on that. Just because the numbers may look low, don't give up and just say, oh, we're not going to do it. We got to keep going, right? What did Dory say? Just keep what?
Swimming.
Swimming.
Yeah, I think that's also very true, but sometimes it just gets a bit. Yes, we sold about 10 tickets, so, and yeah, and
10 tickets?
when things
How-
like
what
this,
was the
And I can sell
advertisement
10 tickets myself.
What was that? Yeah, maybe you should put him on the face of the ticket.
Not the
another
face.
thing is, you know, like
What's the advertisement like?
the advertisement. Well, we try to announce it on the announcements each morning. Miss Zoe does it. Hang up flyers, posters. But that still doesn't seem to work because at this point, just like trying to get like students to engage, it's like really, really hard. Like but also Jarrell, our school government president, he also has like an issue with like the student life, and but I also agree that that's really true, because there's a lot of kids at our school but who really don't want to participate, so it really gets hard to do things like these, and yeah.
I think you should partner with Dr. Edmondson and set up a meeting, because clearly he's the marketing guru. If he can hype up a dodgeball game, he can help you with this dance. So I think you should get on the books to set up a meeting to go over some ideas.
Yes. Next year, Dr. E, I will for sure. I'm gonna be on your head, okay? Yes. Zoe, but she's not the only one. Who's gonna bother you this year? So, yeah.
Reach out, his admin assistant, Eve Kemmerer, she's right there. So get on the books today.
Sure. Isaac, anything?
No. Question, I believe,
So,
here.
no, I don't have a question. I was going to make the same statement. Those were the two notes I had here in the spring dance and the food truck. Those are very good, and it's the end thing right now.
Right.
Okay, and I agree with Trustee McCarthy. I wouldn't give up on that. And the best marketing guru is right here, sitting right there.
Right.
I mean, no shaking your head. He can do it. He's done it. He's shown us that he can. So, but not only to him, reach out to some of the administration. I don't know what your tactics were in doing that, but I think, you still got some time to do something, bring it back. Food, Romulus, since I've been here, I've known they like to eat. I mean.
For sure,
and the
that's for
students, I
sure.
mean, so I don't think you should give that up. I think those are good ideas that you came up with. You should pursue it.
So, thank you,
Okay.
first of all, and thank you to Ms. Zoltowski and Dr. Pachota as well. Just a couple of things. I'll try to get you excited, okay? I was in another school district, and it was my first year as superintendent. And I went to a car dealership, and I said to the owner, I'd like you to give us a car. And he said, you're kidding me. I said, no, I'm serious. He's like, no, we leased them out. We already leased them out for a charity. I said, well, I promise you, I'm gonna be back, and I'm gonna give away a car. That was year one. Year two, I gave away a brand new car. Okay, you can look it up. It's on you'll see it. Gave away a brand new car to a student who they had to have a certain grade point average. They had to attend school a certain amount of days, no suspensions. They had to be in our district for 2 years. We paid $4,000. They got $4,000 to pay for their car insurance. Okay, we gave them $1,000 in gas cards, and then I paid for their driver's license. People told me I couldn't do it. I did it 2 years in a row, and then I left the district. Something else that I was trying to do here is I wanted to do something like that. I have somebody in mind. I'm thinking about somebody because, first of all, there are people that tell me that I can't do. When you tell me I can't do, I'm going to show you that I can. Don't take no for an answer. But the problem that I see in the high school, it's not your fault, but you're part of the issue, is lethargy. That's when people just don't want to do anything. Oh, I don't want to do that. Everything that you throw at them. Okay, first of all, because I don't know if it's a fear of missing out. I just think it's like, oh, it'll never happen. Okay, when you don't believe that your class can get it done. So nobody wants to do the work. Okay, I took something like dodgeball. I was like, this is what I say when I go to another school. I'm like, stupid dodgeball. I'm like, stupid dodgeball. And we made $9,000. There's things that you can do to get people excited. You have to have the right cheerleaders that are there. You have to have the commitment yourself, okay? You have to follow through. Come up with new ideas. Don't do the same things that everybody's been doing here forever. Challenge your students to do something different. We know this. I know all the same things that you do. Like, come on, Rooster Tail? Great. But there's plenty of other things. Take a trip to Chicago. Go on a train. Have you been on a train before? If you've never been on a train, let's take a train from Dearborn to Kalamazoo. And then maybe you can all be dressed up at Kalamazoo. Take the train. You get on the train. You go to Kalamazoo. Have your prom. Get on the train. Come back. Just think differently. Okay? People will want to come here when we start doing some things that are different and you see that kids are excited. If you're not excited, nobody else is going to be excited. I can't get excited unless you're excited. Dodgeball, you want to talk about marketing? I believe that I can pull it off. So I'm going to get you excited and say, I'm going to knock you out. Like, see the director of technology? I knew I was going to knock him out. I knew I was going to knock him out because he can't catch the ball. So I threw it to him. Got it. But that's not the point. But the point is, let's try something new. I will absolutely, if you ask me for the help, I will absolutely help you. I'm not that guy who can make things all work, but I'm going to give it a shot because I've always said nothing beats a try, or nothing, it's nothing beats a failure but a try. Nothing beats a failure. It's if you don't try it, you're back where you were before. So at least try it, and if you fail, at least you said I tried. So let's get together before the end of the year, get whomever you think, you don't have to be in a student government position, get me people who are willing to work. That's all I ask you to do. Let's get people who are willing to work, and I promise you, we can make some things happen. Now to Ms. Zoltowski and Dr. Pachota and everybody else. We had a golf outing. We gave $12,700. Okay, first of all, we made $42,000 in a golf outing. Okay, we cleared. That means after all the bills were paid, $12,700 went to the National Honor Society. Another $12,700 went to student government. So you need to get Miss Kathy Smith, and who runs student council? Is that Ms. Zoltowski, right? You need to, Dr. Pachota? And put them together. Let's do the math on that. That's $25,000. What are we doing with it? I gave it to them. What are we doing with it? Now, it doesn't mean that you all should get all of it, but I could say something like, or maybe Ms. Zoltowski says, we'll give you $2,000, but you're going to have to match us. You want to go, you see that $5,000 security? We'll give you $2,500, but you all come up with the other $2,500. Okay? Never let the adults outwork you. That's embarrassing. You're young. Never let the adults outwork you. She can't want it more than you. She went to school already, and so did I. Our days are over. You need to outwork them. What's that? Oh, okay, right. So my days are over for school. I'm done. So good presentation. It could get a little bit better. We could do a little bit better on that presentation, but it's a good start. And we want to keep putting you up here to get opportunities to speak in public and have a better presentation every time you get up. It needs to be better than the one that you last had. I'm proud of you guys. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Now, I see anybody walk out before my presentation, I'm going to call you out. Look at him. You know what I want to say, right? Got to get that belt back to the store, huh?
All right.
All right. Right. We're at the consent agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the May 13th, 2025 consent agenda as presented. Matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion. A, approval of the minutes for the Board of Education, April 14th, 2025, regular board meeting. Approval of the bills for payment as submitted by Dr. Maria Gitstinger in the amount of $2,604,886. Approval of the financial statements for April 25. D, approval of the personnel actions as submitted by Human Resources Director Kevin Brock. Employment, Christine Etter, school psychologist, Angela Beasley, RHS custodian, and Michael Finley, district custodian.
Support.
All right, motion moved by Rogers, supported by Kennard. Roll call vote.
Rogers is yes. Kennard,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
and Davis.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, next up on the agenda is a report of the superintendent, Dr. Edmondson.
Thank you. Just to the students in particular, when you get this job that I have right now, first of all, I've never seen a student that ever aspired to be a superintendent. I never wanted to be a superintendent. I didn't even know what a superintendent did. I knew that I wanted to teach, but it was a real battle. My mom was a teacher, and my dad was a dentist. So I was like, I don't know. I have to do something. And I went into teaching, I'll just say that, because I have a love for kids and I want you all to get an education. I think it's very, very important, okay? But if you didn't want to be a teacher, or you said, hey, maybe I want to be a principal, well, you start as a teacher and then you get to the principal, and then if you want to go further, you can go further. In the job of education in the field, we have all types of jobs. So I don't ever want you to leave thinking, I don't know what I want to be. There's so many jobs in education. There are so many people around you in education. Okay, from an ambassador to a cafeteria worker we have mechanics here, we have bus drivers, we have aides, paraprofessionals, superintendents, directors, principals. We have everything here. Okay, so just look around. If there's something that you think you want to do, there's people here that can do it. We even have our food director here. So there's plenty of things. Dream big. I beg you to dream big. If you dream small, that's all you're going to get, is to dream small. That's all you get. Okay? I never thought that I'd be living the lifestyle that I'm living right now. It's a wonderful lifestyle. Okay, but there's big aspirins because I have big responsibilities. Big aspirins means big headaches. Okay, I work 24/7, 24 hours a day. If they call me, they don't ever call me that late. But I lose sleep over decisions that I make. But I make them because I care about you, and I want to make an impression, and I want to make a difference in your life. So I need you to know that. That's why I do what I do. So we're going to go into something right now, and this is to the board. You know, we have this gentleman, Mike Ellison, and we have worked hard on doing a lot of, what is it? Thank you. I wanted to make sure you were awake. Marketing. We pay Mike Ellison to do marketing, and we've done a whole lot of it. We do it at different times. So right now I'm going to reveal our latest commercial that's coming out. You're going to see it. It's going to be out. Usually it's around like Hulu, if you have Hulu, and he targets people in our area code. This is the first commercial where we have a student. Okay, you'll see it. I don't want to give it away because it's not a big part. But this student, from now on, after we launch the video, is going to be replacing my voice in a lot of videos. So I'm going to turn this over and let you see this commercial that's coming out.
Can't see it.
Welcome to Romulus Community School. We are in the kid business here. Let there be no excuse for our outcomes. Every outcome that we have is an outcome for kids. So let's start here, ladies and gentlemen. At Romulus Community Schools, we will be the first high-performing urban school district in the United States based on 4 things. 1, student achievement. 2, teacher expectations. 3, parental involvement. And 4, business and community engagement. And how do we do it? Together.
Who is that?
Too ambitious?
Oh, that's how.
That is his real voice, and we call him, I kind of joke with him that he's the Allstate guy. But that is our board member's brother, so I'll let her talk about him for 1 second. Just say something positive about your brother, because we love Raheem.
He's very motivated, and he has a very deep voice, and those are his best qualities.
So Raheem, I believe, is a junior, and he is a wonderful, wonderful young man. I can say that for him. He's got this amazing voice, but we took him, Mike Ellison and I, we took him to a studio, and we worked on voiceovers and things, and we worked on him being able to enunciate. It's important to be able to enunciate and so that speak clearly for the kids, being able to speak clearly. So we worked with him. We drove him up to Farmington. We worked with him to make sure that he is ready to take over my part, okay? I'm ready to turn it over to the kids because that's what I need to do. I will be in some. He just does footage, so it's not like I'm in all the commercials. I'm not. But I want to make sure that we start putting kids in because I want kids to aspire to do certain things. They can do it. If we dream big, it can happen. So you're going to start seeing commercials or hearing, you're definitely going to hear his voice. Okay, whether he's in the commercial, I don't know, but you're going to be hearing his voice, and you're going to start seeing some commercials that we have. I'm really proud, and I say this to the board, I'm really proud of the accomplishments. I don't want to talk about myself, but I want to talk about my team and the teachers and even the kids. We've come a long way in the district in the last 3 years. People will have you believe that we're down and out, and we're not. Listen, we have a long way to go. Okay, but we have a lot of assets, and those would be our students. We have a lot of assets, and those would be our staff. Okay, we have assets in our Board of Education. We can do anything that we want to do as long as we do it at a high level. Okay, and that's me. That is my job, to make sure that the expectations that are set for your children and for you as students are high. If I set high expectations for you and you fall, I'm all right with that. But I will not allow anybody to set low expectations. Because when they set low expectations, you'll go for it, okay? But you'll also go for high expectations when they're set for you. So that's what you can expect from me in my role. As long as I'm here, I'm gonna have high expectations. I will be the champion of this district as I am right now, okay? We're not a perfect district. We have a long way to go, okay? But you saw, like even attendance, we have some attendance issues. We're on it. So I try to be proactive in everything that we do, because I don't want to be reactive. I'm not going to respond to any naysayers. That's not my job. My job is to push what we're doing well and to admit when we're not doing some things well. So as I said earlier or yesterday and in other presentations, truth plus transparency equals trust. That's what you can get from me as the leader. I will tell you the truth. I will be transparent, and I hope to gain your trust. I hope that's where we are right now. I think I've given truth and transparency. So to answer that question earlier, I don't avoid any question, okay? You can ask me that. We've had a lot of leaders at the middle school. We have. And my responsibility is to get it right, okay? I'm gonna get it right, okay? I'm not here to talk about personnel, why people have been moved, but there have been significant moves in the last 3 years, absolutely, okay? I'm going to do my thing. I'm there 2 days a week now, and I have absolutely made a difference. All you have to do is ask somebody. I'm going to be there to set the expectation for our middle school. It needs to be set right, and it's no disrespect or disregard to the leadership. But before I throw another person out there, I'm going to be there. And I have a relationship with students. I have expectations. They know my expectations. I am clear. I've been a principal for 15 years. I know how to do that probably better than being a superintendent. But until we get it right, I say it all the time, you do it until you get it right. If you don't get it right, you make a move for kids because it's the best thing that you can do is to get it right. So there are decisions that I make, as I said, that keep me up at night 24/7. Okay, I'm on call 24/7, but I am here for kids if I have to make that tough decision, and sometimes I make staffing decisions that are tough, but I do them because I think it's best. The decision that I make is best for kids. I'm not always right, but I'm always going to be the champion of kids. So if I had to quantify that number, 8, if I just think, when I think offhand, probably in the last 3 years, probably 8, including me, maybe. Okay, it's a lot. It's a lot. But we got to get it right because it's not right. So that's my job. And if anybody ever has any, if you have any concerns about the decisions I make, I am always accessible. I think most of you know that. I'm always around. Just ask me, okay? I'm always going to give you the truth, and I'm going to be transparent. So didn't want to leave you out. Okay, yes. All right, so if I can just move on with my report, and then we'll get to the kids. Kids, I made you stay in your parents. I made you listen to me first. Said I'm going to put the kids last, so they listen to me. So just a couple of things. There was a community clean sweep in Romulus. I believe the mayor helped organize that, maybe, but we had 24 of our students there. The mayor, all of those 24 students that volunteered to help clean this community. He'd like to have lunch. When is that, Ms. Camilleri? This Thursday. So we have quite a few from middle school and quite a few from high school, so he'll be providing lunch for all our students. And he was very, very appreciative for our students coming out and volunteering, so thank you. To our Board of Education and Teachers, M-STEP has been embargoed. For our kids, embargoed means we can't release the scores yet. So we have them, can't release the scores. There are some trends in elementary school. Mathematics, we've made great improvements in every school. Reading, better. Elementary, better. Middle school was not good. Just not good. And thus, I'm at the middle school. Okay, I'm there 2 days a week. I was a principal of middle school for 5 years. Okay, I'm going to get that middle school right, and I'm not going to just say it's me, but I'm going to get it right. Those scores are not good. I'm not pleased. Okay, so I will take the brunt of that. But I also say we have to have better teaching, we have to have better learning, we have to have better parenting. All 4 or 3, I don't know how many I gave us. Okay, it's a group thing. Don't just put the blame on me. Don't put the blame just on teachers. Don't put just the blame on kids. Put the blame on parents too. So all 4 of us have got to work together to make sure that we get the outcomes. Can't just put it on me. We all own that. Not good. But you're going to see it. Not good. It makes us a CSI school again. That's not good. We have some work to do. So I can tell everybody here, if they're in middle school and you're a middle school parent, please do me this favor. Go home and practice multiplication. They don't know how to multiply. When the phone gets taken and they meet with me in my office, the first question I ask is, why'd you disrespect the school first and disregard my expectations? That's first. Second, I start hitting kids with multiplication that a 3rd and 4th grader can do. They don't know it. At some point, we got to stop blaming COVID, right? At some point, you have to stop blaming COVID, okay? So as a parent, go home and just simply ask the questions. 8 times 7, 6 times 8, 9 times 3. Drill and kill. It works. But I can tell you we have a problem in mathematics in particular. And this, a lot of our kids they write the way they speak. I saw it for myself. Somebody tell me as an adult, W-A-N-N-A. Now, what does that mean? On paper, what does that mean? I have another one for you, G-O-N-N-A. What is that?
What about FinTu?
I don't even, I can't, but we have got to get our kids to be able to write, okay? All this text and stuff, that's what they do. They do the texting and put it on paper. Ask any teacher, they'll tell you. It's terrible. We need our parents to know what's going on and to practice some things at home. If we want a generation of kids to be successful, we've got to do it now. Just saying, so those M-STEP scores. Happy to say that the first girls' flag football game at the high school is May 16th. We have flag football now. Now, when I presented to the board, to the city council yesterday, we showed all these great things that we're doing that people in the community don't know we're doing. Listen, commercials, everything that we try to do, and we don't do enough. People don't know the good things that are going on, but they always want to talk badly about our district. Plenty to talk about there, but all the good things, you're going to hear about our CTE program. We got some great things going, and we've got to do a better job of getting it out there to the community. To the board, May 15th, Merriman will be closed. We're closing that deal. So that's $725,000 that goes into a special account from Miss Sue Evans. I know you're listening. Miss Sue Evans and Miss Judy Kennard decided that that money goes into a special account. Well, the board, but it was your suggestion. Thank you. It was the board. $725,000. We'll be able to sell that, so that's a good thing. I want to acknowledge the passing of one of our staff members. That was Kim Caesar. She passed away suddenly, and just very sudden. She's missed. She was in the special ed department. She had only been with us for about 2 years, but it was quick. It came quickly. It was a surprise to us, and I wish her family. I offer my condolences to her father, who I know personally. So we offer our condolences to them. To the staff, there was teacher appreciation. I need to tell you this. Listen, I was a little bit off last week. I just was. There's reasons for it, but I was off. I didn't do my best job at the staff appreciation. I'm going to try to get better on that, but sometimes your personal life impacts your professional life, and that's what happened to me last week. My personal life impacted my professional life, and I just wasn't feeling great about things. So I apologize to everybody for that, because I should have been better. I could have been better, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't get up for that. So I apologize, and I ask for I'm not going to ask for forgiveness, but just I'm going to try to do a redo. I have to figure out how I need to do that. So my apologies. I'm a real person. For me, I should take a day off. Thank you. She just said I could have a day off. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, they get their time. They have plenty of time. Okay. So lastly, and before I turn this over and talk about the kids, there is a bond issue. Okay, there's a bond initiative. You will hear me talk about that. So you're going to hear people, it's already gone around Facebook. Some people are already bashing. For what? Okay, there's no need to bash. Taxes will not be going up. I, in my role, can speak openly and honestly and tell you to support it, okay, without using district resources. So this is a district resource right now because we have YouTube. So I won't talk about a yes vote or a no vote. But we're going out in August for a special election asking the community to support our infrastructure, buildings, technology. In any school district, the state of Michigan does not fund infrastructure. So every community must go out to the community, every community must go out to the taxpayers and ask them to support a bond. A bond is simply a loan, no different than a car note or a house note. You borrow money, you pay interest and fees for 25 years. That's what we're asking our community to do. I'm going out in all the community for the next 2.5 months to push hard what we're trying to do here. A no vote, okay, it doesn't help your community. And I'm not talking about a yes vote. I'm saying if you don't like Romulus schools and you live in Romulus, you don't go out and bash Romulus schools, because the schools, no matter what community you live in, your schools tie in to your property value. So I live in Canton. My schools are Belleville. I don't have any children in Belleville schools. I support Belleville schools because I know if they're not doing good stuff, then my property value goes down. What my house is worth goes down. I'm not hating Belleville schools. I could care less. I want to support them because I care about my property value. So my friends in the back that live in Belleville too, we ought to be supporting them. That's their choice. If you live in Romulus, you're going to hear about us. Okay, you're going to hear about our school district and all the great things that we have planned for our students and our community. So you need to hear it from me because I've already seen it. People out there bashing. Why? Why bash the school? Look at what we're doing, the things that we're doing on behalf of our students. We're doing good things. Are we perfect? No. Is our achievement bad? Yes, and we all own that. Don't throw it on me. I've only been here 3 years. I'm doing everything that I possibly can to move this district forward. We need your support. So you're going to hear more from your principals of the schools. We're going to invite you to invite me into the schools to talk about the bond. No taxes go up at all. but I will talk more about that. I just wanted you to know because you might see it on Facebook, so thank you. So now let's get to the kids and the great things that they're doing. What's that? Oh, thank you. That's what, you know what, that's Sandy Tenney, love her. Tomorrow is Senior Awards Night at the high school. I don't know if it's, I don't have the time, I just know I have to be there. 6? I just know I have to be there. So 6 o'clock, Senior Awards, it's exciting for us. We need this kind of energy emanating throughout the community. Thank you, Miss Tenney, it's just wonderful having you here again. Like that picture out there, don't she? Yeah, I know. All right. All right, so let me talk a little bit about our esports. We're very excited that this was the first year, and it's really interesting that yesterday when we presented to the city council about esports, I'm shocked, okay? And I know some people are watching it now. I'm shocked. People don't know about esports. They're still stigmatizing esports like they're nerds or something. They're not nerds. These are future leaders who are going to be doing a whole lot for technology and moving our country forward and our world. It's not a place where, you know, these kids have poor social skills, all that, they throw that out. Get out of here. These are kids that like video games, which is okay. And guess what? Because they have a passion, they're able to play games after school. We've set up, we have a coach that we're going to introduce in a minute, and they get to play after school, which is wonderful because now you know they're safe, you know where they are, they're engaged, and then they compete against other schools. This is the first time that we have done this, thanks to our Director of Technology, Adam Dennison, who's back there, who brought the idea to our school. So I thank you for that. He recruited a coach, James Whiteford, right out of, I won't tell what other district he came from, but we're glad we got you. Yeah, we're glad you got you. And we're happy to have you. And then we have pictures of our esports lab. I'll call it a lab. It's outstanding, outstanding. We have grown that program. I believe we started maybe with 12 PCs, and now we're at like 24. Is it 24? Doubled it in a year. We have 5 students that went. 5 students. 4 went to states in esports. Okay, 4, 5. Oh, 5 did. Okay, 5 did. All 5, and they're here. They went, and 2 of them placed 4th in the state of Michigan in esports. So we're so excited to hear that. We're so excited to hear that. We're excited that we're growing the program. Coaches matter. I talked to the coach here and I said, leadership matters, doesn't it? Leadership matters. They can get you where you need to go when you have the right leaders. So I'm going to acknowledge these. Actually, I'm going to let the coach come up. You do the talking because I want to see your passion. You introduce, we'll bring the gear, and let's get it going.
I want to start out by saying I didn't expect to make it half as far as we did this year. I have high expectations for everyone, but I'm very, very happy that these students have gotten to where they are. Yeah, perfect. Even better. I can talk to everybody. Perfect. I love it. I took a group of kids who were like, oh, what is this? It's just video games. Yeah, I play video games at home. Why should I do it at school? Why do I have to listen to this coach? And I got them to buy in. I got them to be receptive to, let's work on your communication, your cooperation, your teamwork. Let's learn those skills that you would learn in conventional sports, but talk about them in an avenue that is exciting for you. Let's talk about video games. Let's talk about the games that you play and the things that excite you. And let's get you to buy in to come to school more often. Have good grades. They have to be academically eligible to participate, just like any other sport. These students are great. I love and appreciate not just these 5 that are here, but all 20 that I have that show up every single day. They're all eligible. They all compete. They work hard. They listen to me. They respect me. I see them in the hallways, and they're proud to be a part of the program. They say hello to me in the hallways. These kids are great. This program is great. And in no other school district do we have the facilities that we have. Do we have the buy-in that we have from teachers, from administration at every level. And for that, I just want to say thank you. And I want to thank all of our community members as well, because we wouldn't be here without that. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I'll start out by inviting up the varsity Fortnite team. I have Gabriel Ruiz and Devin Hart. Come on up. These fine young gentlemen were the ones who placed 4th in the entire state of Michigan.
They're all shy.
And when I say fourth, we're talking about out of hundreds of teams in the entire state of Michigan, hundreds with an S on the end. They are truly quite gifted at what they do. Oh, and they're both freshmen, so if there's any expectation of greatness, it's. And then, yeah.
Crestwood beat us, didn't they? Crestwood beat us.
Yes. Yeah, they're.
They beat us in golf by 1 point.
We were.
I told the superintendent, we're coming for you. You got us twice.
We were undefeated all season long. The only team that beat us the whole season was Crestwood. I will say the only saving grace is that Crestwood was the team that went on to win the state, so I don't feel so bad. If we're gonna lose, I'll go down swinging to the big dog. No, they're very well established, and for us to be kind of learning the ropes for the first semester and then competing, they only competed one semester. Crestwood competes twice a semester every semester. So they compete 4 times for our one.
We want to hear. Good luck. You guys are quiet. I know both of you guys are quiet. It's not going to work. Can you at least tell the crowd something? Can you tell us something about the program? It's new. Can you just tell us something anything? I don't care what it is.
What you like about the program?
And why we should have it? Should we even have it? Say no, we got a problem.
Walk out right now. That's the answer I get.
What? Thank you. Oh,
It's on.
is it? Thank you for esports. It's like really fun because I made so much friends. Like I didn't have I'm new to this school. Like I just transferred. I came from Garden City and I had no friends. And then when I went to esports, I made so many friends.
Oh.
What video games do you like to play?
I play Fortnite. I play a bunch of games with my friends online.
You think you can beat me in Madden? Oh, challenge. Challenge. Yeah, I want the challenge.
He was real confident.
All right, send your gamer tag. It's on.
Next year. Steal that. I will take the
let's
mic
play
away
it.
from
I'm
you.
ready.
We're working on some things. I want to shout out Adam Dennison. He is the one that makes all the magic happen behind the scenes. We are working on some streaming and being able to broadcast our games and our competitions and everything, which I think is going to be a great opportunity, not only just for bandwidth for the district to get us out there and to get us more exposure, but I think it's just going to look great when we're out there competing and beating up all these other districts and showing how great we are.
Brian, while we're at it, why don't you introduce what you'll be doing for us next year at our middle school?
Okay.
Safe to say now.
Okay. So.
You have to approve it, though.
It's how safe is it really to say? Okay.
We got a great.
So next year at the middle school, I've been working with Generation Esports and the different leagues that we compete in. We'll be running 2 electives, but next year it's going to be the start, so it's only be 1. But one of them is a digital life skills course, so it's going to teach them about safety on the internet and communication through the internet, how to be a good advocate for yourself, and how to be a good internet citizen. And then the following year, because these courses are meant to be taken sequentially, there will be esports foundations. So it's the history of esports, what makes you a good esports member, and then learning about teamwork, collaboration, cooperation, all of those skills. It puts it into a course for middle schoolers. So it's a great way to learn about computers and also about teamwork and working together, which is something that many middle schoolers lack the ability to do. And this is coming from a guy who works there currently. Yes, I want to not. I don't want to slight my Super Smash Bros. Team. Yes, I want to bring them up here too. I don't want it to just be about these guys. So, Isaac Bell, Jacob Carr, Jaden, they competed in Taylor. They competed in Super Smash Bros. They were unfortunately they were the lowest man on the totem pole. They just barely made it in, but That's not to take it away from them. They were just barely on the outs. One team dropped. Our team got to go and compete. It was a great experience. We did really, really well. They ended up taking 17th in the state of Michigan, which is, again, out of hundreds of teams. So for a group that has never competed together in a setting like this, we truly did amazing, and I couldn't do it without these guys.
And Coach, we have a little something for you for coming on out and giving it a best shot this year. You were very excited. You were consistent with kids. Really appreciate it. Mr. Dennison, you found the right guy. He's passionate about it. My question to you as the leader, because we just talked about leadership, okay? This is one of our leaders, but she was coach 3 times district champs. 3 years in a row, correct? Or 4?
Unfortunately, 2 years in a row because I got cheated the 3rd year, but
She's still mad about it.
5-year league champion.
5 league champs. So what's
But
the
I do
goal?
want to. I'm challenging the esports team to a duel. Whatever y'all want to play, Mario
So she
Kart,
is, like she is.
NCAA, Madden. I want all the smoke. Bring it on. Especially, I really want 80 Vessel 7.
So I would ask, what is the goal for next year? And then we'll sit down and just thank you again. And thank you to the parents for your support. Truly appreciate it.
So the goal to make it plain and simple, for one, we're going to be competing in 2 leagues. So we're going to follow the model that other teams are doing. We're going to be competing in 2 leagues. So we're expanding what we compete in. So we'll be competing twice a semester. So it'll be 4 seasons every year. So just more competition. I think that's the best way to really learn and get better is more competing. But then there's, on top of the states, there's a national competition as well. This year it's being held in Missouri, which I know isn't the most interesting place, but
How you gonna say that?
I mean, and so my goal, I expect excellence. That's the district motto, is expectations of excellence. I want to go there. I want to go to the nationals. States is not enough. I would love to win states, but like top 2 go to states. That's not. Let's go to nationals. Let's do it. That's my goal.
All right, sounds ambitious. That's what we want. High expectations. Congratulations. Eve, you get a picture for us? Yeah. Oh, Mr. Dennison.
We passed the May 1st.
I'll get in there, but Mr. Dennison's gonna get in there too. We actually want, we need,
Yes, you have to take this out or not?
opponent right there. Look at her. Stare her down. That's the opponent.
She's ready.
She's ready. She's a competitor, I'll tell you that.
I was getting so competitive in the house, I had to stop playing.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Keep up the good work. I never see these guys in the office. You know, when I'm like doing discipline, I don't ever.
They know that there's certain expectations. They're held to higher expectations, and that's.
They never come through my
That's what I
office
get.
except for good stuff. Things like this for you, gentlemen. Listen, these are really important. When you get my age, they don't mean as much, but when you're young, keep this, put this up at your house. It matters. You earned it. You want to see more. The affections you start looking for your sport, and you get to see something you want to join. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Coach. Now.
One last, at this time,
Mr. Dennison.
one last,
Okay, all right. Yeah, so we did receive
say
it,
a
okay.
special thank you to Coach Whiteford. I did attend the states
Because I'm like, okay.
finals, and what I witnessed from other teams was maybe some unsportsmanship, some gamer rage, as Coach likes to call it.
Oh, wow.
Maybe some kids slamming their hands on the tables. I maybe witnessed one kid being a little disrespectful to mom and dad.
Oh, wow.
For the Romulus kids, kept their cool, they were respectful, they had great sportsmanship, and that's kudos to them.
as parents, you're more than welcome. We're going to continue the rest of our board meeting. You're more than you're more than welcome to leave. I'm not telling you to, but you're more than welcome. It's no disrespect if you do it. We're going to continue on with our meeting. Thank you.
Congratulations to you all.
All right. Next up on the agenda, we have an action item regarding the Wayne Risa proposed budget. Just keep in mind that there are two options on the model resolution. One to support the proposed budget and one to disapprove it with an attachment of reasons.
Okay,
Would someone like to read it?
okay. Board members, the recommended motion is for the Wayne Risa proposal budget, and in your board packet is the attachment. The upper part of the resolution will be completed by the Board Secretary Rogers. But whereas the board received the Wayne Risa General Fund operating budget on or before May 1, 2025, and whereas in accordance with Section 380-624 of the revised school code, this board must now adopt a resolution expressing its support or disapproval, as already stated, of the proposed Wayne Risa budget and must submit to the Wayne Risa Board any specific objections and/or proposed changes the board may have to the budget prior to June 1, 2025. Therefore, be it resolved that, number one, please check one of the following options, whether we support or disapprove, and at the bottom of the resolution, it should be completed and signed by the board secretary with the undersigned duly qualified of the Board of Education for Romulus Community Schools.
Support.
So we have to make a motion on one specific option, whether we support it or whether we disapprove it.
I make a motion that we support the Wayne Risa General Fund operating budget for the 2025-26 school year, and that the Secretary of the Board is hereby directed to submit a copy of this resolution to the Secretary of the Wayne Risa Board of Education, along with any comments.
Support.
All right, motion by Kennard, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Bernard.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Davis.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, next up, we have a report from the Director of Human Resources, Mr. Kevin Brock, with an FYI and an action item.
Good evening, Board of Education. I don't know if this is turned up all the way. It doesn't seem like it. But we are here this evening. Mr. Dennison is going to sort of present to you an opportunity for us to post and attain an administrative assistant for his department. As you kind of have witnessed tonight, Adam has been responsible for a lot of great things happening in the district since we hired him. His department has grown, it has expanded, it has become more safe, it has become more accessible. Just so many things that I could talk about. This, before we got up here, is so inspirational. We do so many things like we saw this evening with our kids, and it's due to people like Adam who come into the district that we get a chance to hire. He brought the idea here from his previous district where he was the coach. But when he came and became our director of integrated technology, he said, I'll get it started. I can't be the coach. We just got lucky when we hired Mr. Whiteford. Mr. Whiteford and people like him they're the future of our district. Those are the people that are going to bring this place to where we need it to be for our kids to be successful and continue to be successful. On that note, as you have sort of witnessed a small piece of what Adam sort of brings to the table and what his department needs and what he does do, Adam needs somebody that's dedicated to his department for helping him run his department. He currently does have sort of a part-time person. He shares somebody with Mr. Perkins and Mr. Perkins' department. But it's really not two departments. If I may, it's Mr. Dennison has multiple departments within his department, multiple facets to his department, and Mr. Perkins has multiple facets to his department as well. So this is an opportunity for Mr. Dennison to present. He has some talking points, and I'll let him speak in just a second. It's an opportunity for him to ask the board, there's no vote this evening, there's no action item this evening, but on the next board agenda, there will be an action item for us to have the ability to post a position and for him to have somebody that can help him do his work while continuing to maintain the standards that he has set forth for the district. So, Mr. Dennison.
Thank you. Good evening, board. I did bring I'm not a good public speaker, of course, so I did bring a little cheat sheet with me. But first of all, I want to just make it public that Dr. Edmondson did mention something about my ball skills of handling, but he continues to refuse my challenges of a tug-of-war match. So I'm not sure why that is. I digress. So tonight I am presenting a request to add an administrative assistant position dedicated to the director of to the technology department, the entire department, not just myself. This role is critical to improving operational efficiency, supporting staff, and ensuring the department can keep pace with the increasing demands. Technology is essential to every classroom, office, and student home. As devices, platforms, cybersecurity requirements, and support needs grow, the administrative burden has increased significantly. Currently, technical staff are spending valuable time on clerical and logistical tasks that pull them away from mission-critical support. For example, processing purchase orders, tracking inventory, managing help desk data, scheduling meetings, responding to vendor inquiries, keeping the website, outdoor and indoor digital signs up to date with relevant content, and preparing reports are just a few of the many non-technical tasks eating into each tech staff's time. These functions require attention to detail, but not necessarily technical expertise, making them ideal for an administrative professional. By offloading these tasks to a qualified admin, we ensure the higher paid technical personnel can focus on system management, network security, and instructional support. This is a cost-effective way to maximize the return on our existing technology investment. This role will support technology planning, grant documentation, compliance reporting, and coordination of technology PD sessions. It ensures better documentation, faster purchasing cycles, and more organized communications with vendors, departments alike. Impact on students and staff with technology that works well and is supported efficiently improves instruction, reduces downtime, and keeps classroom functioning smoothly. By strengthening our back-end support, we indirectly but meaningfully enhance the learning environment. We are currently under-resourced in this area, and it puts us at risk of burnout and oversight. I want to thank you for the consideration, and I will take any questions at this point.
Any questions from the board?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for bringing this information before us. And the first thing, of course, when there's information, when people come before us on positions, I'm taking this as a new position, new salary budget line, correct?
Yes, and I did work with Dr. Gistinger when we looked at our next fiscal year's budget to include that in there.
Okay, and so with the pay schedule that is presented before the board, that is without including the fringe benefits. That's just the base.
Correct.
Okay. So where would this person be housed? In the administration building?
Yep. Correct. Yep, administration building.
So you do have someone, I thought I heard you say 50% already where their work assignment is.
Correct. We are currently share with the director of operations, but as Mr. Brock has said, it's a multiple. I would feel bad giving Ms. Lewis any more tasks. She's already managing 3 departments in one right now.
Okay. All right. So in looking at this, and do I understand, from the information that you provided here, that this is something that's needed. I don't think we've had ever, had a person that was reporting, or the expansion of the technology anyway, in the.
It's not going anywhere.
No, right. And so I have somewhat of a background, where technology is really needed, and it's fast, it's evolving. And so this information that's presented before us is fitting, okay, to what you are presenting to us, but we want to make sure that you're getting what you need here. So thank you for bringing this to our attention, and it's up to the board.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
Any other questions? Thank you again.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have an action item for a Director of Finance contract approval.
So before you take action on the item, I know I presented this a few weeks ago at the last board meeting in regards to the potential hire of Miss Dana Blair. We were in the process of doing reference checks, and I'll say this, on a morning, I believe it was a Friday morning, I was physically and visibly frustrated because it's been 2.5 years. It's been long enough that we've been without. Dr. Gistinger has done an outstanding job keeping us afloat, keeping us in the right, making sure that we're doing things the correct way. But we needed somebody here full-time. I know Dr. Gistinger works with several other districts, as well as our own. And it's been long enough, and I was sitting at my desk just really thinking about the position, and I get notifications of all of the people that apply to jobs. So I'm reviewing those every day, multiple times a day, and it just so happens I get here early about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I get a notification about 7:15 that an applicant had applied. I click on it, I reviewed Dana's information. I think I called her, it was early in the morning. I think it was real early, maybe 8 o'clock. And I set up an interview with her immediately. Just based on the qualifications that she has, we are very, very fortunate to have Miss Blair with us. She's been great. She's hit the ground running. It's evident to me, someone who has served in that capacity briefly, it's evident to me that she knows what she's doing. She has the knowledge. She has the experience. I was worried about the MyStar piece because I don't know that you ever worked in MyStar. She has picked up MyStar and run with it. She's in SMART. I'm sorry, not MyStar, SMART. She's running through SMART. She's looking at budgets. So I'm very pleased thus far. I know her first week was like a whirlwind, but I want to welcome Miss Dana Blair to the organization, and thank you for coming on board and helping us out. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Okay, board, before we make the motion, would she like to have come before the board and before we make that motion and tell us anything
Extemporaneously.
She hit the ground running at the MSVO conference. Sure did.
So anything you want to share to us, to introduce yourself, anything or something about yourself before we make the motion? Because I do understand the difference between K-12 accounting and finance versus organization outside of the parameters of that. And sometimes I've always said that accounting is accounting, finance is finance, regardless of, but it's different in some aspects of it. And so, with this transition, I looked at some of your resume and looked you up. Yes, I did. Okay. And so, and I do understand, know your background, okay, and where you came from, whatever. So anything you want to share with us, and in your first, few hours, week with the district, what you foresee, how do you feel, anything you want to share with us about? And usually finance people are very few with words. I want to tell you guys that we're not speakers. We're doers, we're action.
And she's funny. That scared me because she's funny.
Oh, she is?
She's funny.
Okay,
I
so
told her
she's
his numbers
excellent.
better
Yeah,
not
we
be funny,
can
though.
When we do that it's a little quirky, it comes out quirky,
So my background, I was in a K-12 for 6 years. I started as an accounting assistant. I got my bachelor's degree. And as soon as I got into the K-12 and started working, I realized I had to have my master's if I wanted to be the director of finance. So that was one of the first things I started. along with learning everything that I could, because as the accounting assistant where I came from, I did everything, receivables, payables, payroll, retirement, all of those pieces. So I've done it, I've learned it in a smaller district than this. So when they talk about things, even though I don't know SMART, I know a different system, I know the processes that have to happen. In that same district, then I became the director of finance for 3 years. And I love this accounting because as a finance person, there's rules. There's this beautiful book that tells us how to follow them, so I love rules. I love the law. I'm not built for prison, so.
I say it all the time.
We're good. I did go on to work for the community college, very similar but not as structured. And then I went to a foundation, and that's really not structured at all. So I was thrilled to be able to get back into a K-12. And I was super excited when Kevin called me the day I sent my application. And then it was within a week. I was here, casual conversation, and everything's been a whirlwind, but so far so good. I love it. The feel of everything, it's challenge accepted.
Oh, gotcha.
I live with a very sarcastic individual.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
husband's 20 years or so. My daughter and him make me look calm. So I've had practice.
Okay.
But no,
Good.
the whole team is great, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what we can do.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? No? Welcome aboard. Thanks.
Thank you.
You want to read it?
I'll read it. Recommended motion, move that the Board of Education approve Dana Blair as the Director of Finance.
Support.
The rationale is the financial landscape of K-12 education has grown increasingly complex, requiring strategic oversight to ensure fiscal responsibility, regulatory compliance, and the optimal use of public funds. Hiring the Director of Finance is a necessary and strategic investment in the district's operational and educational success. The exhibits are attached.
Support.
All right, there's a motion made by Rogers, supported by Kennard. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, roll call vote.
Rogers is yes. Kennard?
Yes.
Kamal?
Yes.
McCarthy?
Yes.
And Davis?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
All right, I got to put up my collar for this one. And now, next up, we have a report from the Director of Operations, the great Jason Perkins.
Good evening, everyone. I'll try to not talk all night like I did last night and make this fast, but this is a big one.
Yeah.
It's some big projects. It's one I'm super excited about because, well, a couple reasons. This is just a great improvement for the district and some just really cool improvements to the district. And also, it's been the culmination of probably 3 or 4 months of a lot of heavy lifting to get to this point. A bidding process, post-bid interviews, selection meetings. So just thank you to my team, to Mr. Ray Holt, to Dr. Nelson, to Chef, everybody involved who helped get us to this point. So without further ado, I do have 4 recommendations for the Board of Education. And if you recall, at the last meeting, I said I'd be looking for a vote tonight. That still applies just based on our timeline. Thank you, Mr. Brock. Oh, I gotta turn this on. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about a few projects for this summer. Romulus Middle School ceiling and lighting replacement. That's a sinking fund project. That's the big one. Romulus High School CTE improvements, where we're remodeling Eagles Nest Health Science and Accounting rooms. And then also the drinking fountain replacement project that's part of the Filter First mandates. First up is the Romulus Middle School ceiling and lighting. On this particular project, we received 3 bids. 2 of them were incomplete. That left us with 1 option for the bid. We brought that bid back to the Sinking Fund Committee. The other bids were lower, but they were incomplete. So we felt that if those other bids had the correct information in them, they'd be right around where that higher bid is anyway. The higher bid company is Spartan Construction. They had the only complete bid. We held a post-bid interview. They look like a wonderful contractor for this project, and they're excited to be awarded the project as well. It's all new ceiling and lighting for the first floor of the middle school. The reason this really came about in the sinking fund committee was steam upstairs, right? That we didn't like that unevenness. The committee and the board made it very apparent that we wanted to do the same in the downstairs, fix up that downstairs, make it look nice, make it equal with steam. That's what we have here in front of us tonight. So ceiling and lighting replacement. There's also some emergency lighting that would be replaced with the ceiling, and also tying in the generator at the middle school. For those of you that don't know, the generator's been there. It's like half hooked up. We have this awesome generator, and when the power goes out, it does nothing for us. So now this would be tying it in to the lighting system, to the emergency lighting, and kind of really rounding off that project for the ceiling and lighting. So my recommendation to the Board of Education for tonight is to award the Romulus Ceiling and Lighting Project to Spartan Construction in the amount of the $1.232, funded by the sinking fund. We've already made sure that the funds are there in the sinking fund. Thank you to the committee. We've worked very hard to make sure that we don't overspend that, like has happened here before. We're being fiscally responsible. We know we have the money for this project, and we think it would be a wonderful thing to move forward. Any questions about the ceiling and lighting project at the middle school? One more thing I want to add, that we're no longer working with the construction management firm from when I started. That particular firm would probably add around 10% to these numbers that you see, to these bids. So we're removing that layer, getting that cost down, and saving some money that way. So I added, my resolutions were wrong, full transparency. I forgot to add the contingency. For any construction project that I do, I always add a contingency in case anything goes wrong. They take that ceiling down, they find more things wrong, and that cost escalates just a little bit, and we go over that 1.232. So I always add a 10% contingency to any construction project that I do. I learned that a long time ago in my career. So the amount plus a 10% contingency, just to make sure that we don't have to come back for another board approval. So I added that to my resolution, or all three of them, rather. All three resolutions, excuse me. Any questions for ceiling and lighting? Moving on. Romulus High School CTE improvements. So this is fixing up the culinary room and bringing back the Eagle's Nest, which is super exciting. The accounting room, the health room, health sciences. I have Dr. Nelson here. Thank you for being here tonight. Dr. Nelson, our CTE director, is here tonight to answer any questions pertaining to CTE specifically. So fixing up those rooms. Later on in my presentation, you're going to see we also want to outfit them with new furniture. So that's another resolution I have on here, because if we're remodeling these spaces, now we want to put the new furniture in there. That's not included in the construction. So you'll see that later on. The funding source is CTE funds. As a reminder, those funds have to be spent, or they will take them back from us. So that's exactly what we're doing here, spending those funds, improving the CTE rooms. Now, I know someone has questions on this one. Come on. Any questions for the CTE room improvements?
We're happy to see them coming.
Dr. Nelson with some questions. I made her come all the way here.
I trust Jamie.
Nothing?
But what is the CTE room going to comprise of? What is going to be in there? What type of programs do you foresee?
Please? Thank you. Please, thank you for that.
See, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so it's wonderful things, but it's actually 3 different programs that are, is that better? I mean, we're right here, but there's 3 different rooms. So the biggest one that I'm excited about is the Eagle's Nest is coming back. We actually did research. It started in 1965 by someone, we got in touch with his family. Anyway, we are bringing it back, and it is going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I think everyone's going to be very excited. So that's the main room. And the furniture in there, it doesn't look like a classroom that we're running a restaurant out of. This looks like a restaurant that you would be proud to take someone out to luncheon. Our health occupations room, that is getting remodeled as well and it's set up so that it's an actual patient rooms, so that and with the reception desk, with the, we have the new mannequins that actually have responses and things. It's a little freaky. They move when you push on them and things like that. And it's going to be set up more like a hospital room. All the tables are going to come up and down for the students. Both are going to be just amazing when you walk in. We've had tons of increased interest in both of those programs for registration for next year already. Chef is doing a great job as well. And then the accounting room is one of our older rooms. Accounting is a CTE program, even though it kind of gets forgotten as a CTE program, but it helps our students can get accredited for college credits and accreditations. That is going to be you walk in there and it looks like a business office. Just awesome. It is a very old room, and it is going to look like something you would want. All of these would be things that I think we'd be proud to present to the community to show Romulus off.
So welding, I heard something about welding the other day. That's part of CTE, is correct?
Welding is
Or
part of CTE. The grant money wasn't enough to create any large skilled trades program in the high school yet, because just the infrastructure of turning the room itself to be ready. It wasn't just welding or anything, but that is something that we strongly are pursuing. Will be coming up.
About 2.5 to build that.
Yeah. But even just so we visited a lot of welding rooms, and we're still very pro that. It was just not something that was going to fit in the budget for this grant.
Okay.
So kind of plan B is now to just bring all the other programs up. Question?
Well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till he finishes his presentation, because
Oh, okay.
I think my question is overall.
Dr. Nelson. You'll notice for this particular project, we received 3 bids. Shaw Construction that I'm recommending tonight was not the lowest bid. Shaw Construction is the firm that did room 507 at the high school. And they did a wonderful job, and we like working with them, and they like working with us. For that reason, my recommendation is going to be to spend the extra $10,000 to go back with Shaw Construction, because I think they understood the scope the best in our post-bid interviews. So that's my recommendation, is to award it back to Shaw Construction. $10,000 in a large grant of CTE funds. That's why my recommendation is such. Any more questions for CTE room improvements? Moving on. Last up is the drinking fountain replacement. So you guys are all familiar with this. It's part of the Filter First mandate. Every fixture in the district has to be filtered by the new year. So we've already started that process. You guys were aware of that. We're moving it along. But now this is to kind of finalize it. And to finalize it was over the board threshold. That's why it's in front of you tonight. So this would be to... The only thing it wouldn't include is the point of use sinks. So this is for all the drinking fountains. We still have to filter the sinks like in a teacher's lounge, for example. That particular sink has to be filtered as well, because that water is potable and you could cook out of it. So the only thing this doesn't include is the point of use filters for the sinks. Other than that, it would complete our Filter First mandate that is required. We went out to bid based on the threshold. We received 2 bids for this particular project. You can see the large delta between the 2 bids. It's an easy recommendation for this one. We met with the company. They feel confident they could get it done over summer before the start of school. So my recommendation is to award it to them. The funding source is grant funding. Again, money that has to be spent that was awarded to us for this particular mandate. It did fall a little bit short. According to Mr. Graham, the funding that we have left is $91,610, so we would be $43,645 short, which I propose taking from the sinking fund, which again, we know we're on budget, we know we're under budget, we're on task with sinking fund. That falls right in line with something that's a mandate anyway, and the sinking fund. So my recommendation is to take that remainder out of the sinking fund to complete our Filter First mandate for the drinking fountains. Any questions about drinking fountains? Moving on. And lastly is the furniture. I won't say lastly 7 times like I did last night, even though it wasn't lastly. Last but not least, and then I had like 4 more slides. But this is for the furniture for the newly remodeled CTE spaces. You can see the individual prices there. We do not have to go to bid for this particular purchase. It is consortium pricing. You guys are familiar with that, but basically it's been pre-bid. We know we're getting the best price already. You can see they're separated by each space. And the recommendation is to move forward with outfitting these spaces with the new furniture to match our newly renovated spaces for the amount of $169,152.24. The funding source is, again, CTE funds that have to be spent. Any questions about furniture? There's some wonderful selections. I'm so excited about the Eagle's Nest. It's going to look super cool.
I can't wait.
Very excited. Any questions?
Another question. If possible, I'd like it if these companies had some involvement with the schools beyond the project work, since they're students who are interested in construction.
So that's a great question. Not currently, but I'd love to facilitate that. I'm always an advocate of that, of getting, well, we all know that trades obviously tug at my heartstrings because that's my background, right? So seeing young individuals get involved in trades, of course, yes, please, of course. I'd be happy to have that conversation with these companies and maybe follow up with you.
Thank you.
No, I don't have a question, but I just want to make a statement, particularly after yesterday's meeting last night, at the council meeting. So some of the things you're asking, we're utilizing sinking funds, and you probably don't know the answer, but this is something that probably needs to be discussed at the bond meeting, or either Dr. Edmondson may address it at some point. And that is the things that what's differentiating between sinking fund and a bond with, we know that the facilities, the infrastructure, this is part of, it could be, so what's differentiating the difference between what you're asking now?
That's a great question. That's a really
and
good
what the
question.
bond, because that was some of the concern last.
That's a really good question, and I do know the answer because
Okay.
I've been through this before.
Okay. All
I
right.
worked in a
So-
district where I ran a bond from beginning to end and also had a
Okay.
sinking fund.
Okay.
So I am familiar with this process, and really there is no, we decide. It's more budget, but they're both very similar as far as allowable expenses.
Mhm.
So either one can fix up and do great improvements around the district. I guess it would be up to the committees to decide who wants to take on which project and who wants to work on that project and who has the capacity to work on that project. So if this committee says, no, we're good with this construction and we can listen to the construction progress meetings and we understand and we're familiar with this project, then that's the committee who should run it. So there really is no legal or anything like
Yeah,
that.
so if I'm not mistaken, the list, somebody had a list, and on that list, one of them was water fountains, the very same things that you have here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so there's not a clear understanding,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
that would-
It appears to be duplication. Do we
Yeah.
have a new list or an upgraded list?
I would
where-
say that it wouldn't be my list, that would be through the committees.
Yeah, through
That
the
the
committee.
committees will
Okay.
work to
Okay.
figure out which projects. Another thing that we didn't do in my last district, but has been done is combining the money.
So there is a
I've heard
difference. I
of
want
that
to
being
make
done
sure
as
there
well.
is a difference between what you're asking now versus what potentially would be associated with the bond. So that's one of the things that we need to make sure that
I guess they
we're clear
are
on. Yeah,
interchangeable.
they're interchangeable,
They're
correct.
interchangeable from a legal standpoint.
Okay.
But I look at them as almost like a bird in the hand beats two in the bush. We have the money for here, the bond, who knows? So we're going to wait around for a bond. If it fails, then we're stuck. We have the monies here. Let's get it done here with the CTE grant and the sinking fund because we have that money.
Yeah.
So let's get it done now. And then in the bond, if we have money left over, we have some contingencies in there too. So that would be nice if we were able to do that. But
And
we
I don't
had
want to
this
speak for the committee,
conversation.
but I think the sinking fund committee would agree.
Yeah. And I'm on the sinking fund committee. Okay, okay, but
We've
what
talked
what
about
we
that,
heard,
and
right,
I
but
think
what we
that's-
heard, you know, so I'm just saying that we
Yes.
need to be a little bit more proactive in differentiating between the difference and what that means.
Yeah, I
You know,
think once we have a bond
Because people are looking
committee,
at that and they're saying, okay, you already have this, why are you asking for it again? But there's different needs
I
that's
think once we get
pertaining
our
to
bond
it.
committee together, we can
Yeah.
definitely start talking
All
about
right,
that.
thank you.
Yes. Yes. Any other questions?
No.
Thank you, Board of Education. Thank you.
All right, and now we got the action items. Let's blow through these real quick. Move that the Board of Education awards a CTE improvement project, culinary arts, health sciences, and accounting to Shaw Construction at a cost to the district not to exceed $199,999 with a 10% contingency. Rationale, updating career and technical education classrooms ensures that students are trained on current, industry-relevant equipment and technologies. As job markets evolve rapidly, students need access to modern tools and real-world environments to acquire practical skills that will make them competitive in the workforce or well-prepared for post-secondary education. Budget implications accounts for culinary arts, health sciences, and accounting. No exhibits.
Support.
Motion by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Davis.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. McCarthy.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, next up, move that the Board of Education awards a drinking fountain replacement project to K.J. Miller Mechanical at a cost to the district not to exceed $135,255 with a 10% contingency. Rationale, installing water bottle filling stations encourages students to stay hydrated throughout the school day. Adequate hydration has been linked to improved cognitive function, mood regulation, and physical performance, all essential for effective learning and engagement in school activities. Water stations make it easier for students to access clean drinking water, fostering healthy habits that can last a lifetime. Budget implications are accounts for a drinking fountain grant and sinking fund. No exhibits.
Support.
Moved by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Davis.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. McCarthy.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, up with number 3, move that the Board of Education awards a ceiling and lighting replacement project to Spartan Construction at a cost to the district not to exceed $1,232,000 with a 10% contingency. Rationale, the ceiling and lighting systems at Romulus Middle School are aging and in need of replacement to ensure a safe, energy efficient, and conducive learning environment for students and staff. These improvements will benefit students, staff, and the community for years to come. Budget implication sinking fund, no exhibits.
Support.
Motion by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Davis.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Kamal.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, last one. Move that the Board of Education approve the purchase of new furniture from Holland Desk and Chair at a cost to the district not to exceed $169,152.24 for the culinary arts, health sciences, accounting, and teacher cadet. Rationale, career and technical education classrooms must simulate real-world, industry-standard environments to prepare students effectively for future careers. Upgrading furniture ensures that classrooms are equipped to support hands-on, project-based learning that mirrors a professional setting students will encounter in the workforce. Budget implications are CTE funds, no exhibits.
Support.
Moved by Davis, supported by Kennard. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Davis.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Motion is approved.
All right. We're on the streak now. Number 9, report of board subcommittees. Do we have any subcommittees that would like to go?
The curriculum subcommittee will be meeting May the 20th. The time is TBA. I will inform the board via email. If you would like to attend, please let me know so that I can ensure that we get the information out to the public if we have more than 4 board members there.
All right. Thank you. Any other committees? Don't be shy.
No.
All right.
Nothing from the finance.
Let's keep moving. Report of the board president. We have an action item regarding the Wayne Risa election representative. representative. All right, now if we go back to the model resolution, number one, we have to approve the designation of representatives of the board for the electoral body. So we will have one representative and one alternate that we shall choose. And then the second consideration is to cast a vote for two specific candidates. Would anybody like to?
Be a designated voter.
All right, we have Rogers for representative of the board. Anybody else would like to act as a representative?
I will.
All right, do we have to vote on that? Or just? All right, Rogers will be the representative and McCarthy shall be the alternate. And then if you notice in your packet behind the resolution, you have candidate biographical data for two different candidates, which I was informed they are both incumbents, and there are only two open spots. All right.
We do have to have a vote.
Yep. So who would like to read the motion?
I would. Okay. Board of Education, Wayne Reesa, election representative, move that the Board of Education on the resolution reads, top part will be filled out by the board secretary, whereas the biennial election of the Board of Wayne County Regional Educational Service will be held on Monday, June the 2nd, 2025, and the members of the Wayne Reesa Board will be elected by electoral body composed of one person designated by the board of each of the constituent school districts, and in accordance to Selection 386142 of the Revised School Code, this board must now adopt a resolution which designates its representative to the elected body and directs said representative to vote on behalf of this school board for the specific candidate this board supports for each position to be filled on the Wayne Reesa Board, at least one of the first ballot taken by the electoral body. Now therefore be it resolved that the board does hereby approve the designated of, we have Lydia Jackson or James Berry. We have to decide and take a vote on which one this board.
No, down here is for our designation
No,
of
designation
Ursula
of
Rogers.
Ursula Rogers and Paris McCarthy as the alternate in the event the designated representative is unable to attend, which body will elect one candidate to the vacancy on the Wayne Reesa Board on Monday, June the 2nd, 2025. Number two, the designated representative is further directed to cast a vote on the first ballot on behalf of the Board of Education.
For candidates Linda Jackson and James Berry.
All resolutions and parts of resolution insofar as they conflict with the provisions of the resolution B and the same are hereby rescinded.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor by Member Kennard, supported by Member Rogers. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Kennard.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Davis.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
And Kamal.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
All right. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I am in the hot seat today. All right, so I guess my comments go first. So thank you all for being here. Lovely to see you all again. I want to welcome Miss Blair to the Romulus community. Already sound like a member of the family already.
She fits right in.
Congratulations, Mr. Whiteford, for your esports team and your students, and especially for you and your dedication in your, what is this, first year? Yep, first year. Yep, congratulations. Congratulations to Mr. Perkins for all your projects getting passed. What else we got? Continued prayers for our fellow board member Debbie Piles as she continues to recover, and also prayers for President Lasser and her family. All right. Board members, who's up first? Okay. Okay, seeing as Treasurer McCarthy doesn't have anything, Trustee Kamal, do you have anything? Okay, Trustee Kennard.
No, nothing.
All right, Secretary Rogers. Y'all want to get out.
I just want to welcome Ms. Blair. I want to thank the young men that came up from the high school for standing up and doing their presentation. Like Dr. E said, we have to get our babies up here to get them used to speaking and conversing and getting out their ideas. Because they are our future, so we have to be there to support them in every endeavor that they do. I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Great job to our esports for first year. Awesome job. You guys did a really awesome job. But thank you, and I'm looking forward to all the new activities, and I can't wait to see the CT program. This fall it's gonna be awesome. So thank everyone for coming out.
I'm sorry, I forgot I had a couple more comments. See, this is what happens when you don't write down your notes.
Yep, I do the same here.
All right, so two things. I want to congratulate the Romulus High School and Middle School band because this weekend they just went on a trip to Chicago. It was a 2-day trip, just overnight, Friday, Saturday. We had lots of fun. It was actually shared with Frost Middle School, which is where I student taught this past semester. So all the students got to see all the sites, have deep dish pizza, hot dogs, all that good stuff. And then Saturday afternoon, they actually had a clinic and performed at Chicago Symphony Center, the home of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. And our Romulus band had a clinic by, I believe his name is Miles Manor, who's the second bassoonist of the Chicago Symphony. Great experience for all the kids, and I'm hoping that we can continue that. And speaking of the band, we have a concert on Tuesday, so please come on out. I believe it's 6:30 at the high school auditorium, 8th grade band and the high school bands. All right. Should be this coming Tuesday. Yeah.
Maybe I forgot something.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you. So for the senior award, I look forward to attending that tomorrow. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I'll make sure I'm there. And I also want to briefly say to the board, but those board members that was not at the council meeting yesterday, Dr. Edmondson and the team presented Trustee Davis and Trustee Rogers and myself attended. And I just wanted to say that the information that we gathered there, the presentation was very well received, but there was a lot of questions and, things for clarification, particularly with funding, and the bond itself. And so I'm looking, moving forward that when we do meet, we have a meeting that's coming up. I just want the board to know, that without getting into the semantics of what went down, but we need to address some of those concerns, and I'm quite sure we will, okay, and to making sure that it's clarified and that we as a board, as we're serving in this capacity, is our opinions are not focused. Information was what we should be doing, and what we will be doing is putting the information out there so that it's clear, okay, so that the public can understand and that they're not, the information is not where it's not clear or, what those issues are and what it means. So as we go off there and we're hearing those things, each time we go out, we come back and then we'll be able to more clarify what's happening, what it is, and what we should be doing, because there's a lot of things now that is being, said, that this is the first time that we presented that information. This is the first time the administration, we didn't know what those types of questions are. So there are a lot of financial things that need to be clarified. And once the team comes together and then we go back and address those things, it should be more clear. Okay, so it's not the opinion of the individual. Okay, right now we're just getting the information out there. This is what's coming forth, and hopefully we can address those things. So that's what I wanted to add. Okay, thank you.
And now, last and certainly not least.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Me.
This guy. Give a man a gavel. Look what happens, boy. First of all, congratulations to Vice President Doris L. Davis on the graduating from Wayne State. This guy is special to me. I met him, I don't know, in 2021. was in my office to the two of you. And I said back then how proud I was to see two, the valedictorian and the salutatorian that were African-American males, that I had never seen that in my lifetime, and how proud I was. And I still remain so proud of you to see the young man that you have become, and you're transitioning to the man that you're becoming. And I just feel really good about where you are in your life, and you mean something to me, and I need you to know that you mean something to me, and you help bring back my career. So I could never thank you enough for that. But just congratulations, and if there's anything that I can do, I say the same thing to my kids, is that I have connections here that I don't have anywhere else. I have them here. If there's anything that I can do to help you in your career, you best believe that I will do it. Do not let the relationship of board member and superintendent, or boss and subordinate, me being the subordinate, don't let that means nothing to me here. I will do anything for you because you're a young man, number one, and you're trying to move on in your career as I'm tailing off in my career. So at some point I need to hand the baton to somebody else, and it's not in terms of superintendency, but in terms of, it's your turn to take over. It's your generation's turn. So I'm walking out. Next. To what Trustee Kennard said about the bond campaign. I already talked to the director of PFM, who is excited to come and meet with the city council. He's going to look at the tape and see what the questions were asked, and he's ready. Most people don't know, like finances. I don't know bonds. I'm not an expert in bonds. I'm the superintendent. So all I can do is give the information that I have and put the expert in front of the people that can ask those specific questions. Certain questions only certain people know because that's what they do. So if they ask you that, that's because they know that information and they know that you don't know it. So we're going to have apples to apples, and we're going to come back to the city council, and I'm going to bring our financial guy who can answer every question that is asked. Okay? This is above board. Yesterday was above board. Truth and transparency. That's, as the mayor said, this is the first time that this has been done, that the school board came to us and talked to us about what they're doing. That's what we're doing. Everybody's not going to love us. Everybody doesn't love me. Some things are very personal. That's clear. That was clear. And that's okay. I am the face of this district, and I will continue to move us forward. And I just ask that you dream big and that we dream big. We should be getting kids on trains and going to visit different places and getting different experiences. And if they can fly somewhere, I got to fly my junior year. I went to Spain. I had the opportunity. But we just have to plan to make that happen. Dream big, understand the community. A lot of kids have never been on a plane. So why aren't we dreaming to get them on a plane? But they have to do some of the work too. To me, it was a little bit sad hearing that junior class look worn down. Your leaders, the two leaders, are worn down, feeling that the kids don't want to do something. Kids don't want to work. We have some work to do, and that's called morale. Student morale means just as much as staff morale. I don't know about the staff morale. We seem to be doing okay. It ebbs and flows. But our student morale, when you hear that, it's a little bit sad to me. Canceling a dance? What? Never heard of such. So we have some work as the adults to get kids excited about what we're doing. We're doing some good programming, but they have to feel good about coming to our schools and doing the things and having some of the offerings that we have or that we don't have. We've got to dream bigger than what we're doing for our students. And then the last thing to my cabinet back there, thank you. Okay, I appreciate all of you for everything that you do. This season is really busy for me. When I get to May and June, I'm just tired. I get invited to everything, and I try to be everything to everybody, and I just can't do it. I just can't do that. So I'm going to freely invite you all to step in my place for some of these things. I told you earlier today, kindergarten, nah, I'm good. So, if anybody wants to do a kindergarten event, you can have it, okay? I love the kindergartners, but I'm good. So I just really appreciate when all of this stuff comes now and I'm asked to go to all these things, if you could just pick up one thing for me, that would be great, because it is exhausting, and that's okay. I get paid to do that. But I also ask that maybe sometimes you can show up in my stead and just tell people I'm exhausted, and that's okay. I got to take care of myself too. Not just the kids, I got to take care of myself. So thank you, everybody, for coming on out. You did an excellent job filling in. Appreciate it. Let's go home.
Support. Aye. 8:17.
This is a sticky key. Yes, we can hear you. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, take it. Okay, I didn't come back and tell you that. So, the district cannot afford.
Dana.
They cannot afford to do up the process.